When you're in your own frame, you then can see what's your shit versus what's other people's shit. And if somebody else is going to get mad at you for not coming to something that they want you to come to, the old people pleaser version of you would be like, oh my God, that's my stuff. I should have done this. No. Well, that's their freaking problem. You can see, oh, that's their stuff. Oh, I said this and this person was triggered. Oh, that's their stuff. Welcome back to another episode on the Daily Vortex Podcast. This episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how to develop a magnetic frame, what that is, how that will completely change your life too. How, when you show up in the world, the energy that you are embodying is going off of your body, and how you feel about you is being projected out, and other people that then come into your orbit can feel your energy. There are certain things that repel people from you, and sometimes that's a good thing, and I'll talk about that. And there are times that your energy will attract people to you. Think about it like a magnet. A magnet has the ability to attract or repel depending on its charge. And what happens is many people go through life not knowing their own energy or not being in their own magnetic frame, and then they're repelling what they desire. Maybe they're repelling business opportunities. Imagine going to a job interview, not having a magnetic frame, and then you don't get the job. Or imagine that you go on a date and you're not in your magnetic frame, and then the other person feels that and they're not as attracted. When you do what I share with you in this episode, I believe that it can completely transform your vibration from the inside out. So this is going to be also me sharing some of my own journey of developing a magnetic frame. And there are different components of a magnetic frame as well. Now, when I have gone through this process, I've been making videos on YouTube since 2017. And there's a lot that I've learned about my own energy, how I express myself. I can see myself on camera. I can see my own energy when I care what people think, when I'm self-conscious of certain ideas that I'm sharing, when I'm looking for significance and for people to validate how I think and feel and to say, oh my goodness, Aaron adds so much value. I really like Aaron. And where that's coming from as far as the shadow. And to be honest with you, you clicked on this episode and you're going to learn how to develop a magnetic frame, but not all of everything I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode is just about some tactics to hacking your vibe. A lot of what I'm going to share with you in this episode actually has to do with inner child work. Because imagine that you don't feel worthy. Imagine that you feel like this happens a lot. When having a magnetic frame means, first off, you have a frame. You are centered in a frame, and there's a lot of people that don't have a frame, and a lot of times these people will become a part of someone else's frame. They'll find other people to become a part of their frame because they feel safe in that, because when they were a kid, they were shamed for being in their own frame. They were rejected. And then they made a choice that it is more safe to be in someone else's frame to be in my own. Now, the problem with this is that sometimes you then become codependent. There's a lot of people that might be codependent. And guess what? That's not a magnetic energy. So the inner child work is going to be what really transformed this from the inside out. And you could maybe even tell in my own energy. Some of you have been watching me for a while, and you could see that I carry myself very different than even a year ago. Even 6 months ago, I've had a couple things come on board that's assisted me with this. One of them is having a shadow work integration coach is what I call him. It's a guy that has a double PhD in psychology, and he deals with the shadow. He's a Carl Jung master. That's what he studies. And he's helped me become aware of my own shadow in so many different ways. And you guys want to know the crazy thing? It all stems back to one, the body, and childhood. Those two things. Are you present inside of your body? That is also has to do with a magnetic frame. Are you, and what was your relationship with your parents like? What were you shamed for growing up? How did you have to hold yourself back growing up? Because those beliefs, those things that happened when we were young have developed a self-image, and have developed a way of thinking about ourselves that has then been on autopilot. And until we question it and become aware of it, it remains on autopilot. And that's the key to really a lot of what I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode is unraveling these things that are distortions in your energy field, keeping you from being the true you and keeping you from being the you that is not attached to the outcome, that is not attached to the outside. This is the game changer for me. Also, this podcast is sponsored by Full-Time Purpose. Full-Time Purpose is my coaching community that my buddy Victor Otto and I have. We teach and coach people how to go full-time doing what they love, how to create abundance using the power of the internet. So whether you're a healer, whether you're a coach, whether you're a painter, whether you're a musician, anything where you could be marketing your services online, if you're consultant, anything, and you have a message or something you want to share online or you want a purpose you want to go full-time with, that's what we show people how to do, how to go full-time, doing what you love, using the power of the internet. We show how we did it, my buddy Victor Otto and I, things that would have expedited the process and way quicker. And there's coaching that is with that as well. That comes. Victor does all the coaching calls, and he brings people on and coaches. And there's monthly calls. This is something that we're relaunching. I'm going to have this come out when the relaunch is happening. If you're listening to this episode, then right now you can go and click the link below, or you can go to fulltimepurpose.com, and you can check that out. You can join. It will be something that's only open for a certain period of time. I'll just make sure that this video comes out then. But basically, it's we're opening it up and we're taking on people that we're going to be showing how to go full-time, doing what they love. There's coaching process that people go through. There's accountability that happens as well, whether that's you developing a system. And it's not as hard as you think to go full-time doing what you love. You just have to have a certain strategy in place. You have to make sure it's connected to your passion, your mission, adding value to other people. It's also a little bit of the course has to do with changing your beliefs about money too. There's this personal development aspect to it. If you believe money is bad or you believe that you shouldn't be charging for your services, then what happens is you block abundance from coming in. Realize all money is energy. And when you learn how to put out the value out into the world, then that energy comes back to you. One of the ways is that abundance comes in opportunities, comes in finances, and different ways like that. So anyways, Full-Time Purpose, we've helped hundreds of people go full-time doing what they love. You can see the testimonials by going to fulltimepurpose.com. Right now, you can open it up. After this, it'll be closing down because then Victor will be bringing people through a process. So that's why there's an open date. There's a close date to this. And this episode will come out when that is happening. And we're excited to be doing that. We're excited to be relaunching that. So with that being said, if that resonates with you, go to fulltimepurpose.com. Click the link below in the description box or wherever that is. And other than that, yeah, super excited for that. We want to help you do that if that resonates with you. Just even 6 months ago to a year ago, my energy was pretty, I'd say it was, some people would look at it and say, oh, people ask me, say, you have a lot of energy. When I watch your videos, I feel a certain way, but my energy has really transformed over the last 6 months. The way that it's transformed is prior to 6 months ago, I had a tendency to become a part of other people's frame. And what I would find myself doing is distracting myself from being in my own frame because it felt safe to be in someone else's frame. Now, this is when I started doing the shadow work of what I'm going to share with you in this episode. This was depicted in a few different ways. One of them is I knew I wanted to live in Sedona. I'm in my new Sedona house now, which is phenomenal. And I love it. I'm getting this podcast studio set up. I got these moss artwork that's getting ready to be put up in here. And it's incredible. But prior to this, back in March, April, May of last year, 2020, I was here with some friends. And I went in with a friend of getting a house and moving in with friends. And these are some of my best friends. So this wasn't like a huge... it wasn't like some huge mistake or anything, but here's what I realized. Me even doing that, this person, my buddy, his name's Drew. So many of you, if you've seen him in my Instagram stories, he owns a huge company called Organifi, super successful guy, and one of my best friends. Now, here's the thing. I moved in with him, and he has a very strong frame. Now, what happened is I moved in with my buddy Drew, who has a very strong frame, and I felt it, for some reason, it felt safer for me to move to Sedona with somebody else than it did for me to move and make the jump by myself. This was like more of a subconscious thing too. I was like, oh, this seems like a great idea. I'll move in with my friend who's also super successful. So then I'd be able to like learn and we'd be able to like mastermind and stuff. This will be great. Well, then I was going back and forth from Vegas to Sedona. The thing that I realized is that I need to be in my own energy. Nothing personal. It could have been, he's like, these are some of my best friends, him and his girlfriend, Rebecca. But I realized I need to be in my own energy. And here's what was happening. We both had big energy. And what would happen is we would both, in a way, be taking up a lot of energy in the house. And we're both, there's this personality matrix. And in this personality matrix, you have different quadrants that represent like different ways of thinking or different ways of viewing the world, or how you show up in the world. And there's controller, promoter, analyzer, supporter. These are the 4 different quadrants. Well, Drew and I are both promoting controllers, and we're both massive controllers. Controlling doesn't necessarily be bad, but it can have a shadow for sure, but meaning we're very results oriented. That's why I think we have the kind of businesses that we have, and we show up in the world the way we do. We like certainty with like things that we do in our life. And because of that, what happened is having 2 massive controllers in the same house, there's where then we start kind of realizing like we want to be the kings of our own castle in a way. And mainly this was me realizing it for myself. It's like, no, I need a place where I, decide who comes over. I decide when I do what, and there's more certainty, and there's more, I was feeling like I was losing control over my own life, even like making YouTube videos, and then maybe somebody was, in the kitchen laughing or something, and I'm like trying to like focus, little things like that. But what I realized is that the shadow side of myself felt more safe in moving in with somebody else rather than getting my own house. So what we did is we worked it out, and I decided to get my own house, and that's where I'm at now. Now, what I've realized though is there was also this tendency to where I would fall into other people's frame. Not fall into other people's frame. Also be aware of the language you use when you're describing energy dynamics, because it depicts and shows what your beliefs are about yourself. I know with ex-girlfriends, I would say, I'd be starting to get into my masculine frame, and then I'd get sucked back in into someone else's frame. Well, sucked back into someone else's frame, that's implying that, one, my frame is so weak that I can get sucked into someone else's frame again. And I wasn't establishing my own. So there was also this pattern that I had where I have this theory about empathic people. This theory about empathic people I have, and I was empathic or am, but now I can choose when I am and am not. Empathic people are people that are able to tune to other people's energy, and they're able to feel other people's energy. Now, one of the reasons I believe this is because empathic people had traumatic experiences in the past, and what happens is they moved their energy from being present in the bottom 3 chakras into that of the top 3 chakras of their body, which means then there was more of an activation of their pineal gland, which is the intuition center of the body, which means then they were able to connect to other people to see how other people are feeling. Now, I believe that this is also a form of survival mechanism. The idea was in the past when you were a kid, you had to tune yourself to your environment in order to survive, in order to be safe, and you had to take the temperature of everyone else in order to know if you were doing the right thing, if you were getting validation, for looking for approval. And that then we become super tuned in at connecting to other people's energy fields. The challenge with this is that then there's a loss of self. I can tune into everybody else, and now I've lost who I actually am and being present in my own body, and especially my bottom 3 chakras, which are the root, sacral, and solar plexus. And then a lot of times empathic people feel kind of lost, a lost sense of self. And they look for it. They look for safety in other people's frame. That one idea right there, by the way, I made a YouTube video recently on this, on what all empaths and people pleasers need to hear to heal. You can check that out on YouTube. I posted that yesterday. I had no idea how many people would resonate with that video. I was pretty much just shared that concept in more detail. And it clicked for so many people. Now, what I've learned, even from getting that house and from being around one of my best friends that has a strong frame, is that I actually do have a strong frame. I'm a very assertive person. I have a strong frame in my business for sure. However, I would, in a way, sacrifice that frame in personal relationships, even in my past dating relationship. So that was something that I would do that would depolarize my relationships, even the sexual polarity. Because then I would have that sexual polarity in the beginning. I'd be in my own mission, on my own purpose, so that the feminine could feel safe. But then what I would do is I would start to, in a way, drop my frame to support their frame. And by doing so, then they weren't able to be in their feminine frame because I've dropped my masculine frame. And what happened is then the sexual polarity and the polarity in general would fade. And then I would be tuning to their frame as the empathic person. And that was a form of shadow. That was me dropping my magnetic frame. This is a clip from the Daily Vortex Podcast, where I post 2 times a week. And we go really deep on understanding consciousness, understanding how to raise our vibration, how to bring these spiritual concepts down to earth in a relatable and practical way. For the whole entire episode, you can click the link below, but also subscribe to that of the Daily Vortex Podcast on either iTunes or Spotify. That's where there are a backlog of over 100 episodes, plus the whole entire episode length is there. On this channel, you will only be seeing clips moving forward. So if you want the whole episodes, you can click the link below. You can subscribe. They're also very easy to listen to. They're automatically downloaded once you subscribe. Plus, you'll never miss an episode. So this is where most of my intention is and my energy is going these days. And I look forward to bringing you many more amazing episodes. But for the rest of this episode, you can click below and you can subscribe to the Daily Vortex Podcast. And I look forward to helping you expand your consciousness in a very practical and relatable way. So I'll see you on the next episode. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.